Thank you for joining us today as we talk about the Reimagine the Cross Bronx study. And now I'll pass it over to Commissioner Udonis Rodriguez to start the speaking program.
Well, it's great to be here in the Bronx with two great leaders, Congressman Torres and our great borough president, Vanessa Gibson. We three serve together at the New York City Council. So, life is so interesting to see how we have the honor to have what I can say one of the best leaders that we have in our city with Deputy Mayor Yoshi, who also we served in previous role, heard in previous administration, and myself as a former chairman of the Transportation Committee. So it's great to be here with leaders that we have, all of us, and especially those that I'm mentioning, a good record of serving this city. So let's give them a big round of applause. It's a little bit windy, so... Good morning, my name is Udonis Rodriguez. I'm the Commissioner in New York City Department of Transportation. It's a beautiful day, little windy here in Crotona Park, where we will discuss our ongoing process to help undo the injustice of Robert Moses, who bulldozed through the community to build the Cross Bronx Expressway. This road has been a scar carved through the heart of the Bronx, erasing, boasting immigrant neighborhood. It divides community, and it has brought immeasurable harm through displacements, noise, pollution, and terrible health outcomes. That's why there should not be surprises that during COVID, a lot of people who died, they died because of pre-health condition, and many of those people died in neighborhood dealing with those conditions too. Today, we are thrilled to present a new vision for the Cross Bronx Expressway, created in consultation, led by the residents of the Bronx. These concepts represent an opportunity to make their community whole again. For those who don't know, a highway cap can cover a portion of the highway that runs below ground, creating new opportunities to increase public space, connect community, and expand access to green space. Thank you to all the friends, community advocates, and the elected officials who are joining us today. I want to especially thank Deputy Mayor Yoshi, Congressman Richie Torres, Assemblymember Jackson, New York State DOT Regional Director Correns, and as I said before, Borough President Gibson too. And of course, Anthony Perez, our Bronx Borough Commissioner, thank you for the job that he did with that thing. This concept will be included as part of a historic study funded by $2 million federal grants, which is part of a lot of hundreds of millions of dollars that the Mayor Adams, the Deputy Mayor Yoshi, and the great congressional delegation, and Senator Gillibrand and Schumer, we've been able to bring to New York City. And this $2 million is helping us to reimagine the entire Cross Bronx corridor and reconnect the community around it. We are examining every possible way to reduce pollution and noise, improve safety and sustainability, and reconnect the communities of this great borough. And we look forward to discuss and redefine these concepts with the residents of the Bronx at our upcoming workshops. We have 3 more workshops coming up before we finalize our study. The first will be on Wednesday in Morris Heights at MS 331. Please come out to represent your community and make your voice heard. I will now turn this thing now to our great Deputy Mayor, Yoshi, who now will present the concept in greater details.
Thank you. Yes, I have a hurt foot. Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you for noting, we stand here together in roles, but we've worked together in much different roles. And one thing has remained the same, a commitment to making New York City the best place on earth, or the even better place on earth. And that is in every borough, including the Bronx. And there's also been a united commitment on ensuring that we're building infrastructure that works for people. And so this is the poster child of those projects. It really is. Today, we're standing next to a highway that 220,000 people live on either side of. 300 diesel trucks travel this highway every day. Tens of thousands of cars are up and down. And we're standing on the place where the forefathers, 40,000 people, lost their homes. They were displaced. And there was a history of true disconnect between the government builders and government funders and the communities that they were building in. But tomorrow, which is what we're here for, tomorrow is about green space. Tomorrow is about covering up the highways. And tomorrow is about more trees to bring cleaner air to this entire borough. And today we unveil 13 different proposals of how we can get to that tomorrow. 2 of them, which I'm going to go through quickly, but don't rely on me if you want additional details. Please consult our transportation experts, of which there are many behind me. One, which would bring 1.5 football fields of new green space that would connect this park to the park on the other side of the highway. And it would expand both parks and provide additional area for public programming, for playgrounds, and for children to have new memories. And the other one would provide, I think we have a picture of it over here, right here, connecting around the circle. It's the Parkchester transportation stop right in the middle of it, creating 2 new parks on either side, equivalent to 2.5 football fields of new space. And instead of getting out of the subway and being surrounded by highways, people will get out of the subway and be surrounded by park. The important piece is, how do we get there and what's different about the history? And on that note, it's really about listening. What happened here in the Bronx through the agencies and through the community groups is something that didn't happen decades ago. We listened. Government listened. And not only did we listen, we absorbed and we turned what we heard into real plans. And with funding from the federal government, we're able to turn those plans into engineering and the actual nuts and bolts of bringing these visions to reality. So I couldn't be happier to be here to talk about a project that is well underway, and it will not be stopped because the energy behind it is just too broad and too strong. And with partners that I know have a lifelong commitment to ensuring that we're building the best communities in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Now let's hear from Congressman Richie Torres, who played a critical role together with Senator Schumer to get this funding.
Yes. Woo. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here at the presser on reimagining the Cross Bronx, as well as the City Council reunion. But it's an honor to be here with the Deputy Mayor, the Borough President, the Assembly Member, both Commissioners of the City and the Bronx. 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of Robert Caro's iconic biography of Robert Moses, whose destructive legacy includes the Cross Bronx Expressway, which split the Bronx in half and which left in its wake decades of disinvestment and displacement and environmental degradation. Inspired by Nilka Martell from Loving of the Bronx, I partnered with Senator Chuck Schumer, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, in laying out a vision for capping the Cross Bronx and creating a new way forward for the borough. And then we partnered to secure about $2 million for the community-driven process of reimagining the Cross Bronx. So today is historic. The Bronx has been plagued with the congestion of diesel truck traffic on the Cross Bronx. And if you're a child who's living near the Cross Bronx, or if you're attending school nearby, then you are breathing through no fault of your own pollutants that cause you to have respiratory diseases like asthma. The Bronx has the highest rate of asthma hospitalization in the city and one of the highest in the country. And that is not an accident. That is a consequence of the Cross Bronx Expressway. Right? The difference in life expectancy between the South Bronx and the Upper East Side is as much as a decade. And the life expectancy gap is not primarily a function of personal choices. It's primarily a function of circumstance. Right? No child chose to be born near the Cross Bronx and breathe in pollutants and then develop asthma. Right? These were not choices made by the people of the Bronx. Asthma is a condition that has been imposed on the people of the Bronx. And so reimagining the Cross Bronx is a historic occasion to fix what is broken, to right what is wrong, and to lift up a community that for too long has been left behind. So I'm excited about the path forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressmember. Now we will hear from Eric Korster, Regional Director of the New York State Department of Transportation, who owns most of this area of the Cross Bronx.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Commissioner, Marie-Therese Dominguez, I'd like to thank all our federal, state, and city partners for being here and for their support for this federally funded study to reimagine the Cross Bronx Expressway. At its core, reimagining the Cross Bronx is about exploring new ways to make the facility safer for local residents, increase the quality of life for people between the Harlem River and Hutchinson River Parkway, and reuniting communities currently divided by the expressway. The short and medium long-term concepts being laid out today were developed by the community, and we will continue to gather their feedback as part of this process, some of which will require further study. But this is an extremely encouraging start in our collective efforts to reimagine an area of the city that's been historically underserved and ask residents in what ways can we reimagine the Cross Bronx Expressway to make your lives better now and for future generations. Corridor-wide, what we heard could fill a book, or better yet, a RAISE study, which are part of the concepts being outlined today. Thank you for taking the time to participate in all the workshops, all the meetings, and all the walking tours. We have some more public engagement coming up, as the Commissioner mentioned, but today's announcement is a great starting point on what's possible for the Cross Bronx and its future. Thank you again for your partnership and your work on reimagining the Cross Bronx Expressway. Thank you very much.
Now we will hear from Board President Gibson and Assemblymember Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful fall day to bring us here to Crotona Park. So grateful to be here. I am Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson, and I first want to acknowledge the incredible leaders that are standing here today for this exciting announcement. Thank you to New York State Department of Transportation, to New York City Department of Transportation, to our Commissioner, Idanis Rodriguez, to our Bronx Commissioner, Anthony Perez. I want to celebrate and say thank you for the incredible leadership of our federal partners. This could not and would not have happened without the incredible commitment and leadership of our Congressman, Richie Torres. Thank you so much, Congressman. Also want to acknowledge our U.S. Senators, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. In December 2022, when we were awarded this $2 million RAISE grant, it was with the understanding of all the possibilities that could happen with reimagining the Cross Bronx Expressway, recognizing the dark history that the Cross Bronx has been for this borough for decades. Systemic racism, dividing communities of color, residential communities that deserved so much more, from the west side to the east side. This is truly a historic moment for our borough, and we are excited. When we kicked off these hearings and visioning sessions, it was truly about community-driven plans, creative approaches to looking at capping the Cross Bronx. And I acknowledge incredible advocates like Nilkal Martel from Loving the Bronx and so many others that stood with us at press conferences and walking tours, making sure that in this grant we could look at opportunities to not only cap the Cross Bronx with a platform, but we could build more greenery, green spaces, open spaces. The schools and the residents that live along the Cross Bronx could finally have an opportunity to have access to an improved quality of life, better air quality, reducing truck traffic and noise and pollution. The possibilities are endless with this new initiative that we have started. I am so grateful that we have organizations at the ground that are doing this work. Community Board 6, who has always advocated for better connections along East Tremont. Walter Gladwin Park, where we are building a recreation center. And yes, we need a swimming pool because we know that that is a part of the core when you talk about building healthy families and healthy children. When you talk about Hugh J. Grant Circle in Parkchester and better connections to Virginia Park and Noble Playground, access to the Bronx River Greenway. I was very proud to join the Bronx River Alliance last week, and we were canoeing in the Bronx River. I have never done that before, and I was nervous, but it was incredible. And now I'm going to canoe even more. This is all about exposure for our children. It's about thinking outside the box. It is about looking at innovative approaches to how we can provide better quality of life for the families that we represent. This $2 million grant is going a long way, and it allows us to join together as city and state and federal partners, along with our community organizations, to come up with the very best plan, not just for this generation, but for future generations that deserve better. The Bronx is no longer going to lead in the highest rates of asthma and heart disease and diabetes, but rather we're going to lead in things that are good, and we need everyone involved. DOT, the Parks Department, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Health and Hospitals, everyone has a collective responsibility. And so I'm so grateful to be here today as a partner in this effort, as a partner in this initiative to move the Bronx forward, whether it's Walter Gladwin Park, Crotona Park, Virginia, Noble Playground, open spaces, green spaces. This is exactly what our borough has needed for quite some time. And so I'm grateful that we can be here making this important announcement about adding more greenery, more bus lanes and bike lanes. Now I am a biker. I own a bike and I cycle through the Bronx. And yes, we need more bike lanes. We need better buses to move across our borough from east to west. So thank you so much to our Congressman Richie Torres. Thank you to our DOT commissioners. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Mira Joshi. And thank you, Assembly Member Chantel Jackson. I especially want to recognize our district manager from Community Board 6, who has been absolutely relentless in this work, and that is Rafael Moray, who is here. The final thing I'll say is we have another project that Commissioner Perez knows very well, and I have to recognize that it's a project that has been languishing for quite some time. We need to make sure we're looking at East Tremont and the connection to Starlight Park, crossing over the Cross Bronx at DeVoe Avenue. That project has been around since 2008, and it needs to move. And I want to make sure that as we look at this 13-point initiative, that is also a part of this work. And so I thank you so much to this administration for moving us forward in the right direction so that at the end of the day, we can truly say that for such a time as this, capping the Cross Bronx is an idea, is a vision, and it will soon become a reality. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. You heard from her, more boss lane and back lane, okay? Let's be ready, okay? Now let's hear from the great Assemblymember Jackson to come and say a few words.
I don't even know what's left to say because our borough president has said everything. I'm your Assemblymember Chantal Jackson. I have the pleasure of representing this district. You guys are standing inside Crotona Park, and I'm here with my favorite constituent, my son TJ. And we use this park often. And what's so important is that what's going to happen with this project is that the noise that I'm hearing right now will not be as loud once we have this project completed. The air quality will be different when this project is completed. And we get to travel across the Bronx and not worry about highways and diesel gas and trucks and all those other things that we did not put here. Us, the elected officials that are here now, we didn't put it here, but we're doing our best to fix the issues that came before us. So I'm grateful to my Congressman Richie Torres for this initiation and for everyone else that's involved in this project. And I'm looking forward to the day that we cut the ribbon on this project. And everyone, I'm encouraging my constituents to continue to be a part of this project. I know it's been a long time. We've been talking about this for over 2 years, and there's still more conversations to be had. But I need everyone to come out, be a part of these conversations, show up at the schools, lend your voice so that we can build a better Bronx. Again, I'm Assemblymember Chantal Jackson. Thank you.
Now let's close in calling on Jacqueline Bernaville from Senator and Majority Leader Schumer.
Hi, I'm Jackie Benavides from the Office of Senator Chuck Schumer, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he asked me to share a few words with you all. Dear friends, I am sorry that I cannot attend this event in person. For far too long, the people of the Bronx have borne the brunt of the consequences of the Cross Bronx Expressway, which literally split neighborhoods in half and left a legacy of pollution and high asthma rates. I'm proud I delivered the $2 million federal RACE grant that funded this community-based study to determine the best solutions and redesign, and ideally cap the Cross Bronx sustainably and equitably. I personally advocated with my friend Richie Torres, community groups with local leaders, all to Secretary Buttigieg to deliver the federal grant needed for the study, and I'm glad to see that New York City is moving forward with proposals for community improvements. Additionally, in the Bipartisan Infrastructure and Jobs Law, we secured $1 billion in a Reconnecting Communities Fund, as well as $3.2 billion for the Neighborhood Access and Equity Grant Program in the Inflation Reduction Act, which can be used in the future construction phases of this project. This is another proud day and a step forward for all the advocates who helped make this happen. Sincerely, your friend, Senator Chuck Schumer.
Thank you. Before we take some questions, I want first to say a few words in no more than 1 minute en Spanish. Estamos aquí con el objetivo de anunciar de que bajo el liderazgo de Eric Adams, el liderazgo de la Deputy Mayor Mary Yoshi, los líderes congresistas Richie Torres y los demás que estamos aquí, el Majority Leader Schumer también, estamos anunciando la nueva etapa de escuchar de la comunidad los que ellos quieran que se haga en esta área del Cross Bronx. Esto es producto de 2 secciones de estudio que se han hecho. Las comunidades han dado sus opiniones y después de recoger sus opiniones estamos ahora presentando lo que ha dicho la comunidad en la tercera ronda de conversación que tomará lugar inmediatamente. Por lo tanto, estamos invitando a que todos los residentes del Bronx digan presente dentro de las cosas que estamos proponiendo, que escuchamos los residentes, es que se pueda techar parte del Cross Bronx. De esa forma se construirán líneas verdes, se traerá la justicia y se reconectarán comunidades que bajo Moses en el pasado fueron separadas. Así es que una vez más demostramos liderazgo de la Cadec Arens, de todos los oficiales electos que estamos aquí presentes, de darle dignidad y respeto a los residentes del Bronx que tanto se merecen. Invitamos a toda la comunidad a que participen en estos momentos. Now, before I take question, I want to thank the men and women who do the great job. They are the leaders. Here we are, Deputy Mayor, elected official, commissioner presenting. But this is the great team at DOT who did all the job, and they will be the one who also will be leading this effort. Some are here or they are not, but I want to acknowledge the contribution of Eric Bitting, Karen Sommer, Charles Bob, Rochelle Brajala, Joseph Sende, Janet Morales, Nina Spellman, Debra Shentok, Carlos Castel, Remy Merrill, and everyone in our Bronx Borough President for helping us to get